Hey everybody, you're watching the Christiana32 and I am the Christiana, and I haven't made a video in a while, and I gotta tell ya, there's a few reasons for that. Number one, I've just been really busy with work and planning the wedding, and I just haven't had a second to think about a video topic. But one thing that I have been thinking a lot about is AI and use cases and whether or not it's ethical. And I have an idea for a whole series that would be probably on a different channel about the ethics of AI and how to use AI ethically. Is there a way to use AI ethically? So if you're interested in that, please let me know. But I've also just been feeling really overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Gestures broadly. Scrolling on social media is more of a doom scroll than ever because there's a lot of doom and gloom in the news stories, especially the ones that show up in my algorithm for some reason. And there's also a lot of videos of cats, which is always lovely. Anyway, one thing that I actually tried this morning, I was like, this is a video. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but this is a good use case for AI and is actually kind of making me feel better. So I use a service right now. I've got access through work to an AI called Glean. And I don't know how easy it is to get if you're not getting it through your company. But I think that other AI services would be able to do this just as well or about as well. And this morning I just asked it, please tell me some good news from the world, some recent good news from the world. And you could be more specific if you want. And it gave me a list of 8 news stories that seem interesting. And the thing that I like about Glean is it does give me sources, so I can click on the link and get to the website that has the actual story, so I know that it's not just making things up, which AI doesn't do as much, or at least I haven't noticed it as much as it used to. It definitely still does, especially when you're trying to get links. There have been times where, I don't know if it's been with Glean, but with different AI services, where it's given me a link and that link led to nowhere. So these ones, I did click on the link and it actually pointed me to 2 news sites where it gathered these stories from that are both all about sharing good news in the world. And a lot of these stories are kind of local, small town, smaller stories, I guess, rather than we cured cancer, not big news stories. Maybe if I used a more specific prompt, I would get those ones. But so it gave me a list of 8, and then I could ask more questions about them. But there were 2 in particular that I wanted to, that I thought were interesting enough to click on. One of them was earlier this week, a shelter dog was adopted because at an adoption event recently, she noticed that a person that was at the event was having a seizure, and so the dog goes up and is tapping on his leg trying to get his attention because they're minor seizures. He's, there are different levels of it. It turns out this guy was having a series of small seizures. He had forgotten to take his medicine that morning, whatever. But this dog's never been trained in recognizing seizures or what to do if somebody's having a seizure. But the person that she alerted was not, or they already had a bunch of dogs. I don't know why they were at the adoption event, but they couldn't take on another pet at that time. But somebody else who was looking for a dog has a son who has epilepsy, and was like, hey, let's give this dog a great home, and she has a skill that can contribute to the household. Be great. And so that was very sweet. And then there was another story from a little bit further back. It was back in April, of hundreds of community members in Michigan helped a bookstore move its inventory by forming a human chain. So about 300 people came together to help this local independent bookstore move their inventory down the street to a new location. The store owner had reached out on social media asking if anybody was available to come help them, and they moved over 9,000 books in about 2 hours. So they had 2 lines going down the street, and it was just passing one book at a time. So that there's everybody from kids to a 91-year-old, somebody's grandma was there. And they just had a fun little community afternoon, chatting with people and moving books. I love a good independent bookstore. I guess it's a pretty small one, only has 9,000 books, but also it's just the owner and 3 part-time employees, so it's not like a huge operation. So if the 4 of them had tried to move all of those books just by themselves, it would have taken much longer. And so seeing the community come out and support a small business, it's sweet. And a reminder that we are still a community. Our society has grown more and more independent, and so it's sometimes hard to see those connections the way that we used to, or the way that we see in old movies and TV shows if you weren't around for it. But anyway, there were a lot more stories, and I could have asked for, give me more good stories about bookstores or something. You can definitely go to ABC Good News. If you just Google ABC Good News, it will probably come up, their list of good news stories. And the other one is dailygood.org. And for that one, you can definitely search for specific search terms. But I didn't know that these things existed, that these sites were already curating positive, feel-good kind of stories, and it was definitely the pick-me-up I needed this morning. AI can be used for good. And also, people can be good. Let me know down below, what do you do if you're feeling down? Do you have any recent good news stories that you would like to share? Let's have a positive moment. I'd say another piece of good news is a certain YouTuber using his online auction space to donate a lot of money to the Red Cross, but that one didn't pop up on my AI search, so I don't know. All right. Good night, sweet dreams. I hope that you guys are having a really good day.